This is the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus 5G, the first 5G phone in Redmi's Note lineup. But adding support for 5G means there are compromises to live with. By the way, the name Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus is weird because we had the Redmi Note 10 Pro Max last year, and according to Xiaomi, the more affordable Redmi Note 11 Pro is the successor, the actual successor to the Redmi Note 10 Pro and the Pro Max. It is all very confusing. I'm really not getting into the details. My name is Ershad. You're watching Trakin Tech English, and this is our full detailed review of the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus. Now, what I do like about the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus is its design. It's got this nice flat edge all around the phone and of course flat display as well. The phone's made of glass on the back and the front, but railing is actually plastic. Initially, it did feel light when I held it in the hand, but it is heavier compared to the Redmi Note 10 Pro Max, which means that the weight distribution has been done evenly across the length and the breadth of the phone. Although the phone doesn't balance nicely on a table and there's this big camera module which sort of juts out from the rear, and when it's on a flat surface, it wobbles a lot. Now, this new Mirage color does look a lot like an aquarium, right? I mean, I half expected a school of fish to swim across the phone. Talking about swimming, you cannot swim with this phone, but it can resist a few splashes of water thanks to the IP53 rating. For a budget phone, I think that the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus is a good looking phone. Although you do feel the budgetness of the phone, for the lack of a better word, when you actually press the power button and the volume rocker. Now, these are fitted loosely within the body and therefore the tactile feedback is not very great. Now, talking about the power button, the fingerprint scanner is also placed on the power button. It is quite convenient to reach and very fast to unlock the phone. Now, if it is a Redmi phone that you're buying in 2022, you can rest assured that all the functional ports will exist. You get a 3.5mm headphone jack, you get a proper stereo speaker setup, you get a hybrid SIM tray, you get a USB Type-C port with USB 2.0 support, and you get an infrared scanner as well. The availability of all these basic ports inside a budget phone in and of itself could sell more Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus than you would expect. Now, as for the dual speaker setup, it does sound clean, but it doesn't get too loud. Take a listen for yourself. Although I do like the fact that, the 3.5mm jack at the bottom does get high-res support, and it does sound really good with my mode drop earphones. Now, you guys can give us high-res support too by hitting that red subscribe button and the bell icon right next to it to get notified whenever we put out an awesome new tech video. And of course, don't forget to hit that like button and maybe even comment below for the YouTube algorithm gods. Please. Thank you so much. On paper, at least, the Note 11 Pro Plus's biggest advantage is the flagship grade display that it packs. It's got all the bells and whistles. You get a 6.67-inch Super AMOLED display, you get 120Hz refresh rate, you get HDR10 support, you get 1200 nits of peak brightness, and you also get Corning's Gorilla Glass 5 protection on the front. Now, what is the point of adding all these specs if you don't get 2K video support on YouTube and you don't get HDR video support both on YouTube and Netflix, which was actually possible on both the Note 10 Pro and the Note 10 Pro Max? What is the point of 1200 nits of peak brightness when you can't really experience it? Who will add the frosting on the cake? Frustrated, I did ask Xiaomi about whether a future OTA update will add all of these features, but I didn't get no response by the time of shooting this video. I'll let you know if anything changes. All that said, there's no doubt that this panel in this price range is absolutely gorgeous to look at. Even the peak brightness in high brightness mode has been bumped up from 450 nits to 700 nits. Therefore, the sunlight legibility is stunning. It is unmatched in this price range. But the phone also has a Z-axis haptic motor, and it's fine. It's not that bad. It's kind of light, but I feel that the Realme 9 Pro Plus with its haptic motor does it better. Now, in the camera setup of the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus, you don't get that 5-megapixel tele-macro setup, and it has been downgraded to a 2-megapixel one. However, when compared to the Realme 2-megapixel macro camera on the 9 Pro Plus, this can go closer and take slightly sharper shots as well. I found it easier to focus with, but the loss of resolution was a bit of a letdown. By the way, I'm comparing the cameras on the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus and the Realme 9 Pro Plus, despite the fact that, the price difference is huge because obviously Pro Plus, but also more importantly, I want to see if there's a huge difference between a 25,000 rupee phone and a 20,000 rupee phone. Moving on to the samples, the primary 108 megapixel camera captures a decent amount of details, but it is no match for the flagship grade 50 megapixel IMX766 sensor inside the Realme 9 Pro Plus. Whether you look at the brick wall at the back or the leaves or the grass, the IMX766 just pulls in a lot more details. However, the colors are just too oversaturated on the 9 Pro Plus. It's an annoyingly bad look. All the blues, the reds and the greens are cranked up to maximum. That said, the 9 Pro Plus does better in HDR situations. It offers a better control of the highlights and the shadows. In comparison, the 11 Pro Plus has a more contrasty look and a lot of noise in the shadows as well. Now, when you shoot people, both the phones do a very good job of the facial tones, as you can tell, but the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus is ever so slightly more accurate. Having said that, the color of the black shirt has turned blue on the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus. Also, the Realme 9 Pro Plus is ever so slightly sharper too. But in a complex lighting situation, I like how the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus has managed to control the highlights on Sajid's pants. But for some odd reason, the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus really cannot reproduce the blacks well. It has turned blue again. However, portraits are slightly better on the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus. While the edge detection is more or less similar on both the phones, the gradual blur on the rear is more realistic and DSLR-like on the Redmi phone. And in the second shot, the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus does a way better job with the dynamic range too. If you can look past some of that color science inconsistency with the black shirt, then the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus is a better phone compared to the Realme 9 Pro Plus for shooting, photos of friends and family. Now, even selfies, whether you're shooting in even light or against the light, is better tuned on the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus. Ultra-wide shots, however, except for the color boost, are sharper and more dynamic with more details visible in the shadows when you look at the Realme 9 Pro Plus's sample. I really like how Realme has tuned the ultra-wide angle cameras on the 9 Pro Plus. And I don't even have to say this, when you look at the low light shots, whether without night mode or with, it just looks much more brighter, detailed and impressive on the Realme 9 Pro Plus. Although that oversaturated look is a bit of an eyesore. I wish Realme could actually make pictures look more true to life. Now that we've seen the camera samples, when it comes to video recording, that's where the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus just drops the ball. You don't get 4K 30 FPS video recording, you don't even get 1080p 60 FPS video recording, you also do not get electronic image stabilization on the rear camera. Clearly, the Realme 9 Pro Plus is better for video recording because you get all of this and great dynamic range plus details. Front camera video recording, however, is of similar quality on both, as it tops out at 1080p 30 FPS, and weirdly, you get EIS in the front camera video recording on the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus as well, so that's good. The new Snapdragon 695G inside the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus is definitely more powerful compared to the Snapdragon 732G and offers support for 5G as well. Having said that, if you are a gamer and if you're looking for a performance monster, then that's not the chip that you're looking for. And more importantly, it's available in cheaper phones as well. But it is not entirely bad in this price range either. It benchmarks well, especially with a decent Antutu score, as you can see. And more importantly, it doesn't throttle too much either, as you can tell from the CPU throttling test score of us, and of course, the 3D Mark Wildlife stress test score. But I must say this, MIUI 13 on this phone does stutter way too often and it is not a very smooth experience. I did encounter many lags while using the phone, and I also encountered a few bugs which I will get to in a few minutes. Gaming was again pretty decent, I would say. It's more or less stable in Call of Duty Mobile, and it doesn't heat up too much either. You can crack up the graphics to very high, but the FPS is also stuck at very high. If you want max FPS, then you'll have to drop the graphics down to high. Although if you are a BGMI player, then it is not looking very good, because even in smooth graphics, you can only do ultra frame rates, and it can only go up to high graphics. And when you talk about the network performance of the phone does support 7 5G bands, which I cannot test at the moment. But the 4G performance is rock solid, and I consistently got carrier aggregated 4G plus on the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus, which wasn't the case on many other budget phones, and the call quality is also really good. Now coming to the battery life, the battery charging speeds has been doubled now. You get support for 67-watt charging with a charger inside the box in a day and age where brands are removing the charger from the box. Samsung. And this charger can charge the 5000 mAh battery inside this phone, which is actually a big battery, from 0 to 100 in about 42 to 45 minutes, which is pretty good. Plus, what I really like about the phone is that you get support for USB PD charging as well. And if you're looking at the battery performance of the 5000 mAh battery, then you can expect about 6 to 7 to 8 hours of screen on time, depending on your usage. And it lasts you at least a day and a half of moderate usage, so that's good. Now, while you do get the latest MIUI 13 on, Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus, it is based on Android 11. As usual, Xiaomi continues to concentrate on its own version of Android than Android itself. Now, that wouldn't be too much of a problem if it were a flawless experience, but that's not really the case. See, what I do like about MIUI 13 is how feature-rich it is. From dynamic wallpapers to even basic things like the ability to actually uninstall multiple apps at once, Xiaomi does throw everything at you. But the promise of improved performance and smoother animations in MIUI 13 I'm not seeing that on the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus. It is a stuttery experience, like I mentioned before. Plus, I noticed bugs too. For example, whenever I got a call, the screen would go entirely blank, or basically it'll be just white with none of the call elements showing up on screen. And I couldn't even cut the call. It just was completely weird and bizarre. Another weird bug that I encountered was a weird little section break in the settings app. I've actually captured a screenshot. You can take a look at that for yourself. Now, even if you discount some of these bugs and say that, Xiaomi will fix them in a future update, what I can't look past is some of the dark patterns that exist on the software. And it mostly starts when you're setting up the phone for the very first time. For example, if you don't want personalized ads and if you want to switch off the toggle, what Xiaomi does is it gives you the option, but then when you click on it, you get the turn on button in blue highlighted and the turn off button is on the left compared to the turn on which is on the right. Now what this means is that an unsuspecting user will hit the turn on button and think that okay, that's switched off, but that's not really going to happen. Similarly, if you want to turn off the wallpaper carousel, which I generally like to do, the no thanks option is like this small little footnote underneath the try now button. That's just completely bizarre. I'm not really a fan of these tactics. Now, for its asking price of rupees 21,000, which can be further reduced to rupees 20,000, the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus is not a bad phone, but I see two distinctive approaches to making phones in 2022 from budget smartphone makers. Basically, the brand can choose to either create a phone with a few compromises under rupees 20,000, or it can give you a more refined experience at about rupees 25,000. Case in point, the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus and of course the Realme 9 Pro Plus. Because the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus, like I mentioned in my review, misses out on some of the basics. The fact that you do not get 5 megapixel macro photography, or the fact that you do not get HDR video playback on a display that supports HDR video playback, and the fact that you do not get 4K video recording or EIS or 1080p 60 FPS video recording is completely baffling to me, because the previous phones had all of these features. And the Realme 9 Pro Plus, while it is not the best phone out there, for its price, it definitely gives you a lot more. For example, you get OIS, you get Android 12, the latest version of Android 12, you get a much better chip, and of course, great haptic feedback as well. The overall experience is far more refined on this phone. But when you're talking about two Pro Plus phones from two competing brands, I think that Realme does the Pro Plus slightly better than the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus. In fact, if you're hellbent on buying a Xiaomi phone that offers a slightly more refined experience, I would suggest you pick up the Xiaomi 11i instead. See, I'm not dissuading you from buying the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus. It offers a good enough value for the price, but it is not the killer proposition that the Redmi Note 10 Pro and the 10 Pro Max were last year. And that's just the state of our industry in 2022. What do you guys think of the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus? Do let me know in the comment section below. I hope you guys liked that review. Until next time, this is Ershad signing off. Keep tracking and stay safe.